All right. So now once we have defined state, now the next thing that we need to define is nodes. Okay. So let us start defining the nodes part. And what I'll do is I'll keep on scripting the code, and in between I'll keep on explaining you guys. And once we are done with the code, then we'll rerun the explanation once again. All right. So first and foremost, we're going to import JSON. We're going to import OS. We're going to import logging because we want to log whatever changes we are doing. We're also going to import RE, which is typically used for regular expression, in this case for text cleaning. And we'll be also importing dictionary. We'll be importing any, and we'll be also importing list. All right. And then what we'll do is from langchain underscore OpenAI, we will import. So we'll import Azure Chat OpenAI. This is to chat with the OpenAI models, and we're also going to use Azure OpenAI embeddings. Okay. And this is to access the embedding model, which is the text tree embeddings small model that we have in Foundry. Okay. Then from langchain underscore community dot vector stores, we're going to import Azure search, because this is going to act as a vector store where our PDFs are going to get vectorized and will be stored. Then from langchain underscore core dot prompts, we're going to import chat prompt template. Okay, because we'll be also defining the prompt. And then from langchain underscore core dot messages, we will be importing system message, and we'll be also importing human message. All right, this looks good. Now what we are going to do is in state, right? We have in state.py, we have defined the schema, right? We have defined the state code. So what we're going to do is from backend.src.graph.state.py, we're going to import the video audit state class we have created and the compliance issue class that we have created. All right. And what we're going to do is in services, we have created a file called as videoindexer.py. Okay. As of now, we have not written the code, but there we're going to create one service. Okay. But as of now, I'll just import that class here. We have not created it yet. Okay. I'm going to import something called as video indexer service. We'll write the video indexer service code in some time. Okay. All right. Once we are done here, what we're going to do is we are going to configure the logger. Okay, which is going to log everything that we do here. Yes. So we're going to say logger equals to logging dot get logger, and we're going to log this under brand guardian. Okay. And then we're going to put logging dot basic config and level equals to logging dot info. All right. Okay, this looks cool. Now let us build the first node. Okay, so node 1, that is the indexer. All right, so we're going to create the first node, which is called as the index video node. It takes the video audit state and returns a dictionary that contains, or a dictionary that has a string and any, which means at the key level you can have a string, but at in the output, as in the value of the string can be of any data type. Okay, so what this node performs, okay, in simple terms, this is going to download the YouTube video, okay, from the URL. then it basically uploads to the Azure video indexer. Okay, and then it extracts the insights. This is what it performs. All right, so first and foremost, it will take the video URL. Okay, so from state we're going to get the video URL. All right, then it is going to take the video ID input. Okay, so let me just pass in here. It gives the video ID input, and that is also what it is going to get from state. So video ID comma video underscore demo. Okay, we'll see this, and then it will again perform logging. So let's say this can be let's say we'll write node indexer. Okay, processing. And what is it processing? It is processing the video URL, right? So it will first process the video URL, and what will happen is we will locally create a once we process the video, we are going to locally keep that video or locally download that video, and once the video is locally downloaded, then we will be uploading that on Azure video indexer. So locally we're going to download that particular URL or YouTube video as temp audio video or temp audit video. Okay, temp audit video, because we're going to do compliance auditing, right? And now with this, we are going to write the try except block, where we are going to instantiate the video indexer service that we have created, right? This video indexer service will be in this particular file. Okay, let me just give it in this file, in video indexer file. Okay, all right, we have not created it yet. We'll create that in a while. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to download, right? So we're going to download the video if it contains youtube.com, okay, in the video URL, or okay, maybe youtube.b, okay, in the video URL. All right, then you download that on the local path. Okay, not just download that on the local path, but yeah, let me just, yeah, all right. So vi underscore service, what I'll do is I'll download the YouTube video. All right, and we'll pass the video URL, we'll pass the output path. Okay, output path. Okay, and the output path is nothing but, what we're going to do is we're going to keep this as local file name. Local file name is where your video gets downloaded. Okay, so we're just going to check if we are going to download the video only, okay, if it abides by, if it contains youtube.com or something like this. Okay, else what we're going to do is we're going to raise an exception. Okay, and we're going to say please provide a valid YouTube URL for this test. This is what we're going to say. Okay, all right, once it is downloaded, then we need to upload this. And where we are going to upload this, we're going to upload this to Azure VI service, right? So I'll create a variable called as Azure video ID. Okay, and then in VI service dot, using VI service, we're going to upload the video. Okay, and we're going to upload the video from where? From the local path. Okay, and the video name is nothing but it is going to take the video ID input. All right, and then we're just going to log it. Okay, we're going to log it under upload success, and then it is also going to show us the ID. Okay, ID of the video that successfully got uploaded on VI. All right, then we'll also do some pending cleanup. So we'll just say if os.path.exists local path. Okay, we're going to remove that. Okay, we're going to remove it from the local path. See, once the video is uploaded, we don't want it, right? So we'll remove that from the local path. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll wait. Okay, Now in the waiting time, what we'll do is we will create something called as wait for processing. All right, and we'll pass the ID. Okay, and as the processing is happening, it will store that in raw insights. Okay, once this is done, we will extract the, okay, what we'll do is let us also log this info. No, not required. Let us log the, once we are extracting the data, we're going to store that extracted data in clean data. Okay, so we're going to say vi underscore service dot extract data, and that too from raw insights. Okay, and whatever data gets stored here when the processing is happening, we're going to extract the data and we're going to store that in clean data. And once that is done, we're going to do logger.info. Okay, and we'll say what, we'll say node. Okay, node indexer. Okay, we'll say extraction complete. All right, we'll do this and then we'll finally return the clean data. Okay, and so try is done. Okay, if nothing works, then we'll just raise an exception, so exception as E, and then we'll log the error as well. Okay, and in the logger we're going to put video indexer failed, and we're also going to note down that error. And finally, what are we going to return? We can firstly return the errors. Okay, whatever error was there, which was again, we're going to log that into string. The final status, okay, which is, okay, just a minute. Yeah, final status, which is fail. Yeah, so if the final status is fail, it means that there is some error that is caught up. Okay, and yeah, I think after this we're going to put, let's say, transcript. Okay, and okay, I think I did not put this here. Yeah, okay, and then in transcript, obviously if it is unable to extract the transcript, so we'll keep that as empty string. And even if it is unable to extract the OCR text, then again, I mean, if it fails, it fails, right? It will be unable to, if there is an error, it will be unable to, it will firstly show the error. It will also tell that the final status is failed. It is unable to extract the transcript and the OCR text. And this is what node 1 will do, which is the index video node. All right. And the next node that we're going to build, which is node 2, this is nothing but the compliance auditor node. If you can recall this from the architecture diagram, this is the one that performs the compliance auditing. Okay, so we're going to call this as audio content node. It takes the earlier state, which is the video audit state, as an input and gives the output, which contains a dictionary. Okay, which at the key level it takes string and the output can be any. Okay, this node actually performs retrieval augmented generation. Okay, which is how a RAG pipeline works, right? This node performs retrieval augmented generation to audit the content. Okay, which is nothing but the brand video. Okay, and yeah, so let us do one thing. Let us now write logger.info. Okay, and in logger.info, firstly I'll pass node auditor. Okay, which suggests that the auditor node is now working from here. Okay, and it will say that auditor node querying the knowledge base and LLM. All right, this looks good. And after this, we're also going to show transcript. Okay, and in transcript, I'm just going to say state.get transcript. Okay, and if it is able to get the transcript, it will store that into transcript, else it will show a empty string. All right. If it does not extract the transcript, all right, then we need to log that. Okay, we're going to say no transcript available, and you need to skip the audit. Okay, and if this works, then if this does not work, then what are we going to return? Firstly, we're going to return the final status. Okay, which is what? Which is that it failed. And we're also going to return a final report. So in final report, what will we return? We'll return that the audit skipped. Okay, why? Because we were unable to extract because the video processing failed, right? So the because the video processing failed, and there is no transcript. All right, as simple as that. Okay. Okay, now once we are done with this part, in this node itself, what we need to do is we need to initialize the Azure clients. Okay, initialize Azure clients, which means the Azure services. Okay, so what we'll be needing is we'll be needing the Azure Chat OpenAI, right? And in Azure Chat OpenAI, in Azure deployment parameter, I'll pass the Azure OpenAI chat deployment, right? You can go to env and check. Okay, so in Azure deployment, what are we going to take from the get env? What are we going to extract? We're going to extract Azure OpenAI chat deployment, which is what? Azure OpenAI chat deployment is the model. So we're going to extract the model in here. All right. We're going to extract the model. Once we have extracted the model, which will be stored in this variable, then I also need to take the version, right? So I'll just call this as OpenAI API version. I'll say os dot get env. Okay, and I'll say I'll just pass this as Azure OpenAI API version. See, all these variables are there in your .env. You need to go and check. Okay, just make sure that you name it correctly as you have named this in .env. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll keep the temperature as 0. All right, looks good. So we have passed the LLM information, and now we'll pass the embeddings information. Okay, for embeddings, we'll be using Azure OpenAI embeddings, and in here in Azure deployment part, okay, what will we pass? We will be passing the we'll be passing the text embedding 3 small model that we are using. Okay, and the OpenAI API version, which is this one. This is also what we will pass here. Okay, all right, looks good. After the embeddings, we need to pass the vector store. Okay, which is the vector store details. So in Azure search, I'll first pass the Azure search endpoints. See, this is where you will be having all your vectors stored, right? So Azure search is very important. Okay, so here we'll be having get env, and here firstly I'll pass Azure search endpoint. Okay, after this I'll be passing Azure search key. Okay, and in Azure search key in .get env, I'll pass Azure search API key. All right, after that, at the index name level, I'll be passing get env and whatever index name you have given. Okay, Azure search index name. All right, and after this I'll also pass the embedding function. Okay, embedding function I'll pass, and here I'll say embeddings.embed query, which means whatever embeddings.embed query, yeah, whatever user will be giving an input function, as in when a user gives a prompt, we want that prompt also to be embedded, and that is what it will do. Okay, and then after defining the vector store, we have the RAG retrieval part. Okay, and in RAG retrieval part, firstly we'll extract the OCR text, right? So we'll extract the text. We'll call this. We'll extract the OCR text. If we get nothing, we're going to pass an empty list. Then we are going to extract the transcript, right? So we need to extract the transcript, and what we'll do is we will join this, okay, with the OCR text. That is what we'll do here. Okay, so transcript and OCR text both are joined, and that will be passed as query text. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll perform a similarity search over the vector store. Okay, so over the vector store, when we perform a similarity search, okay, we'll be passing query text, and we want three nearest, or it's text which is similar. So we want three such results which are similar from the vector store. Okay, and we're going to do a similarity search from the vector store, and we're going to store that in docs. Okay, and after this, we're going to create something called as retrieved rules. Okay, so let me just pass in here. Okay, what we're going to do here is basically we are going to extract the page content, right? So we're going to extract the page content from the document objects that we're going to create here, right? So I'll just say for doc in docs. Okay, so from doc in docs, you extract the page content, and then you join. Okay, and then you store this in retrieved rules. Okay, because page content is what gets vectorized, right? So once the document objects are created, page content will be getting vectorized. Okay, after this, what we need to define is we need to define the system prompt. Okay, which means how do we want our system to act? Okay, so I'll just pass the yeah, looks good. So I'll just pass the system prompt. Okay, and in system prompt, I'll say you are a senior brand compliance auditor. All right, and then there are some official regulatory rules that you need to follow. All right, official. Okay, and these official regulatory rules are nothing but the retrieved rules from here. Okay, then there are certain, okay, all right, let me just hit a tab. Then there are some instructions as well. Okay, instructions are, okay, that first and foremost you need to analyze the transcript, okay, and the OCR text that is given, okay, that you extract. Then you identify if there are any violations of the rules. Okay, you identify if there are any violations of the rules. And third, you return strictly JSON, okay, in the following format, and we will define the format. So JSON in the following format, and let us define the format. The format will be typically like, so I have the format ready, so I'll just copy paste this format in here. So this is how I want the format to be. Okay, all right, looks good. Yeah, so you will be having, firstly, look at the, if you look at the structure, compliance results, and whenever I get the compliance results, I need to get that into JSON. Okay, it needs to be flagged under category, severity, and description, which means if I have an advertisement, okay, and then there is any category violation, okay, then in under which category is the violation happening? Okay, let's say this category is claim validation. Severity is critical, which means they have performed some severe violation of the rules. Okay, And if there is a status fail, it will basically just summarize the findings. Okay, if no violations are found, you set the status to pass and the compliance results to empty. As simple as that. Okay. Once this is done, we also need to define the user message. Okay, which is now user message is something that will go from the human level. So as a human, okay, or at the user message, what inputs will go to the system, right? When I want a system to act a particular way, I also need to provide inputs. So at input level, I will be passing the video metadata. Okay, and how will it get the video metadata? Okay, it will state.get. Okay, it will take the video metadata that we have defined earlier. If it does not get the video metadata, it will just pass the empty string. All right, then we also need the transcript. Okay, and in transcript, what we'll do is firstly we'll extract the we'll get the transcript. Okay, and after that we will be also needing the on-screen text, right, which is nothing but the OCR, right? And how will we get that? We'll get that from the OCR text. All right. Okay, now basis this, we'll try to write a try catch statement. Okay, okay, looks good. So now in here I'll put a try. Okay, wherein firstly we'll invoke the LLM. Okay, we invoke the LLM on what? We will invoke the LLM on system message. Okay, and at system level, what are we passing? System message is nothing but the system prompt that is there, and the human message is nothing but the user message, okay, that we are passing here. All right, and the LLM, which means my GPT, will be invoked on here. Okay, all right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to so now the thing is, whenever some content is generated, right, that content also contains metadata. So I'm just going to put response.content, which means I don't want any metadata. Okay, and then I'm just going to do some regular expression cleanup. Okay, if you are not from regular expression background, you can just avoid this. All right, so okay, if this is found, okay, something like this is found in the content, okay, then what you need to do is you need to search it. Okay, re.search. Okay, and I'll just pass in here. What this means typically I'll give you an idea on a top level. Now, if I just have to tell you right now what we are doing, we are just cleaning any data that is available except JSON. All right. Okay. All right. And now after this, I need to pass the content. I need to pass something called as re.all dot group one. Okay, you can avoid this if you're not interested in regular expressions. Yeah, it's totally fine. It's just that we are cleaning the data, and whatever output we'll be getting after once we have cleaned the data, we're going to store that into JSON format. Okay, you can see JSON.loads audit data. All right, and then finally what do? We return something. Okay, and what do we return? Firstly, we return the compliance results. Okay, and in compliance results, what do we pass? We pass audit data dot get. So from audit data, what are we going to get? We're going to get the compliance results. Okay, if we don't get anything, we're going to pass the empty list. Then we also need the final status. Okay, and final status, how are we going to get? Again, audit data, and from audit data we're going to get the status. If there is nothing, we're going to just pass fail. We're just going to send fail, and then we want final report. Again, from audit data, okay, we're going to get it. We're going to call that as final report. Okay, and if we are unable to do that, it is going to say no report generated. Now this might look a bit tricky, but please try to understand we are writing good production level code, high quality code, so it might expect certain things from you. Yeah. So accept exception as E. Okay. We're going to log this error. Okay. And then I'm just going to pass system error in auditor node. Okay. And we also need to pass which error is this. All right. And yes, and we also need to log the raw response, like what went wrong, right? So logging the raw response. So we'll be also logging that. So I'll be just passing logger.error. Okay. And then I'll just say raw LLM response, okay, which is response dot content. Okay. If the response in locals, sorry, if the response in locals, else none. Okay. And then I'm just going to return a few things. I'm going to return the errors. Okay. And the error is again going to be in string format. Yeah. And then it is also going to print the final status. And again, in final status, it is going to be failed. So yes, so we have successfully written the nodes code as well. Okay, and these are the nodes that we will be dealing with. Okay, so first and foremost, if we just go here towards the top, RE is for regular expression. Okay, after that we are just going to import which all, so where all we need to connect. So we need to connect it to Azure Chat OpenAI. We'll be needing the embeddings, and we'll be needing Azure search. So we're just going to import that from LangChain. We need to import the prompt template, hence chat prompt template is also defined. Now if you look at the first function, okay, this function is actually responsible for converting video to text. Okay, so function responsible for converting video to text, and you can understand this is really important. Yeah. And what does it take? It takes the current state, which contains the YouTube URL. So this contains the YouTube URL as an input. All right. It creates the instance of the video indexer. Okay, so if you actually see here, yeah. So what does it do? So yahan pe obviously it is creating an instance of video indexer, which is a helper class that is there in indexer, and locally it is going to create the or download the video, right? And what we are going to use here is we are going to use for downloading, we're going to use something called as YTDLP. Okay, and YTDLP will help us download the video from YouTube to the local system, and that too temporarily. Okay, all right. And in here we're going to upload this, right? This will basically send the video that we have local to Azure. Okay, in this case Azure cloud, I mean Azure video indexer. Yeah. And if you look at this part, which is raw insights, okay, raw insights vi service dot wait for processing Azure VID, and this basically pauses the code. This will pause the code. It keeps on asking Azure, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Every 30 seconds, it will keep on asking Azure. Okay, and because video processing will take time, right? It takes around 5 to 10 minutes. So this prevents the code from moving forward unless and until the results are ready. So now if the results are ready, okay, that is when you will see that in clean data. Okay, so once Azure is done, this basically pulls out the parts that we care about, which is the transcript, which is the words that are spoken in the advertisement, and the OCR, which is the text available on the screen. Yeah. This is the exception, and then we have the next node, which is the audio content node. Yeah, and you can think of this as the brain of this operation. It basically uses AI to judge the content. This is going to help AI to judge the content. Okay, now this particular node receives the state which now contains the transcript and the OCR text from the previous step. See here, the state was only containing the YouTube URL. Now here it understands or it knows the transcript, it knows the OCR as well. And now this is going to judge it. It is going to judge because we want to see if it complies or not, right? Uh, as we move down below, okay, you can see we are just going to log into different whether it is a model, whether we are going to use Azure AI search, which is the knowledge base here, right? And all of that. Yeah, so all right, and this actually works as a retrieval augmented generation, right? And why does it works at retrieval augmented generation? See, first and foremost, we have to understand that uh, it basically combines the transcript and the screen text into one search query, right? It asks the Azure search. Okay, if you see here, it will ask the Azure search, find me the three most relevant pages from the PDF rulebook matching the text. This is what it will do. Okay, so this is going to ask Azure search that, you know what, find me the three most relevant pages from the PDF rulebook as per the which are matching the text or as per the given query by the user. Okay, and it saves those specific rules into what? Into retrieved rules. Okay, because so instead of sending 100-pager entire rule book to AI, which is obviously very expensive, yeah, you only send the extracted paragraphs, and this is what it will do. Okay, all right. Once this is done, we have defined a system prompt. Okay, and system prompt is nothing but, in a way, we are giving instructions to AI, right? It provides context, right? It provides context, which are the rules that we just found, and the task, right, which is finding the violations. So crucially, it basically tells AI to strictly give only JSON. Yeah, because I think we have defined it somewhere. Yeah, we only want JSON, right? This means that AI must answer in the computer code format and not conversational English. As simple as that. Okay. After that, we have also passed the user message. Okay, we are invoking the LLM, and then we are doing some weird regular expression thing, right? So this is basically the safety mechanism. Okay, sometimes the AI tries to be helpful and write, and it basically wraps the code in markdown backticks, right? So this is called a backtick, by the way. Okay, so this code uses regular expression, okay, to look for those backticks if there are any such backticks, okay, and delete them. So this is going to delete such backticks, okay, because many times when there is code, when AI wraps the code in markdown, there are some backticks in the, so we're just going to remove this. We don't want it. We're going to delete that, and we only want pure JSON. Okay, that is what it will do, and it will return pure JSON, and this is nothing but the exception that will get logged. As simple as that. Okay, so finally we're going to have it basically now converts the text response here into Python dictionary, right? If you see here, it returns a Python dictionary, right? And it returns the final status, final report, compliance results, all of that, right? And basically this finalizes the audit. Okay, and this is what the final output you will be seeing on these three parameters, which is the compliance results, final status, and the final report. So yes, guys, so that was nodes. Yeah, that was a bit of in-depth, but yeah, I think you guys got an idea, like typically, because the kind of project that we are building, it requires you to do that. All right. Okay, next let's move to the next part, and the next part is where we'll be defining the workflow, where the state and the nodes will come together. All right. Okay, let's proceed.